Good morning, everyone. What a great turnout. Thank you for being here this morning. Happy Groundhog's Day. I hope we get past this day in a different way. Isn't that what the movie is about? So that we can all move on to February 3rd and we're not stuck on February 2nd. But it's a wonderful day for us at Montgomery County Community College and for the Schuykill River National and State Heritage Area as we celebrate another milestone in an important collaborative project for the community of Pottstown. We've just completed phase 2 in the development of this Riverfront Academic and Heritage Center. And this facility, when completed, will help to support the local and regional revitalization plans for the borough, as well as serve as a hub for education, culture, recreation, and conservation in the community. And you might ask, why a phase 2 celebration, and why are we sitting and celebrating in a shell of an area yet to be completed? And I would say because celebrations are important, but especially for a project like this, which in so many ways is a labor of love of two organizations, the Community College and the Heritage Association. A labor of love representative in many ways of the times we live in, which require us to be creative, persistent, and patient in matching a project's development requirements with the timing and pace of funding from public and private resources. It's not an easy task, so it makes this milestone celebration ever more important. When finished, this center will accommodate the unprecedented enrollment growth of our West Campus, which has grown by more than 60% over the past 5 years, making it one of the fastest growing community college campuses in the country, according to Community College Week. Designed to be LEED certified, the transformation of this one-time brownfield site into a state-of-the-art education facility underscores the college's strategic focus on sustainability, a commitment we made in 2007 when we signed the American College and University President's Climate Commitment, pledging to reduce our carbon footprint. But it also makes a statement about the college's strong commitment to being a leading partner in revitalizing the continuing work of the partnerships in the borough that are making this a destination town, a place where education and culture and recreation work together to create a thriving community. We have a number of distinguished guests with us today, and I'm going to go through a list, and I know when I begin to do this, I risk not recognizing some important people, so please bear with me. We have Senator John Rafferty, who you will hear from later in the program, but also we have with us representatives, and if you could stand so we can recognize you, because Senator Rafferty will soon be speaking, but Representative Kate Harper, Representative Tom Mert, Representative Tom Quigley, and Representative Marcy Topol. And I want to offer tremendous thanks to the entire group of representatives here for your continuing and untiring support for the college and community colleges across the Commonwealth and recognizing the important work that we do, especially in these challenging times. From Pottstown Borough, Mayor Bonnie Heath. Mayor, thank you. We also have the Chamber of Commerce CEO Eileen Dietrich. Eileen. And I recognize Eileen and the Tri-County Chamber specifically because very early in this project, the board of the Tri-County Chamber endorsed it as a project worthy of capital funding from the corporate community, private giving. So I want to thank the Chamber for that because that has helped us move forward many elements of this project. We have Greg Francis from Congressman Gerlach's office. And Don Weismazel, a staff member on behalf of Senator Dinniman. We have a number of the college's foundation board members, including Jack Corey, who you'll hear from in a few minutes, Steve Rosa, and our foundation board of directors chair, Barry Stolzfus. We also have a number of representatives from the college's Board of Trustees, and with that, I'm going to introduce our board chair, Mike Daniello, to offer comments on behalf of the board, but also to introduce his colleague board members. Mike?
Good morning, everyone. As Dr. Stout said, my name is Michael Daniello, and I'm the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Montgomery County Community College, and it is a great honor for me to stand up here and to welcome each and every one of you here to celebrate our collaboration here with the Schuylkill Valley Academic and Heritage Center. Before I make my remarks, let me just introduce two members of our Board of Trustees, Lynn Lecter, who is here, and Jim Vlahos as well. In 2009, the community college started to put together its master plan and how it really applied to the Pottstown area in our west campus. And we started with the north building, which is located over on High Street, which was an old vacant factory that we had refurbished, and now it is clearly a leading-edge educational center for our community college and for the Pottstown residents up here. And it is another great source of pride for us to be putting this building together with the Heritage Center, so that we have not only the joint forces here for the building itself, but as well all the additional parking facilities to service our community college over here at West Campus. I can tell you that our college has, every 10 years, we put together a 10-year master facility plan, and the borough of Pottstown is always in the forefront of our thinking of how we can put together and expand our community college for the residents out here, for all of our students, and for the borough itself. And we take a tremendous amount of pride in what we are helping to develop here at the community college up here in Pottstown. And before I sit down, I recognize that my earth science professor, Robert Coleman, is here, and perhaps after we get finished all the remarks, people can ask him why it was 67 degrees yesterday on February 1st. So with that, I'll sit down and bring Dr. Stout up here again. Thank you all for being here.
There are a number of donors to this project in the audience today that I'm not going to individually recognize, but I want to thank you for your support. There are members of the Schuykill River National Heritage Association staff and board here. I know Kurt Schuykill is not here. He's away at a conference. Tim Fensel is here from the Schuykill River National Heritage Association. Thanks for being here, Tim. And one of our many strong partners in Pottstown, the superintendent of the school district, Reed Lindley. Reed, there you are. Thanks for being here. Many of you joined us back in spring 2010 when we enthusiastically celebrated the opening of the parking lot, which really was the first phase of this project. And you may recall how really excited I was about doing a ribbon cutting for a parking lot, and we laughed about that. But it really is maybe the most aesthetically pleasing parking lot around, and at night it's absolutely gorgeous. You should take a Saturday night drive through the parking lot. It really, I've done that before. It's before having dinner at Funky Little Kitchen. It's a nice Saturday night out. But in all seriousness, that parking lot, it's a 202 space parking lot, is heavily used by the college's students and by community residents who use it to access the trail and all of the assets of the river. And for us, parking lots for community colleges are important to access, to student access, and they're important to student success, keeping students through to completion. We know that we watch our students come into our parking lots and we watch them compete. It's worse than King of Prussia Mall at the holiday time. And if they don't find a spot, they don't necessarily persist. They might persist when they get into the classroom, but the parking persistence is a challenge for them. So the more we can do to create opportunities to make this more commutable, not just with parking, but with mass transportation, our new shuttle system, all of those things, the better we do for our students. So when this phase 1 work was completed, not only did we build a parking lot, but we used a lot of environmental stewardship in doing it. And I just want to remind all of us that we removed contaminated soil and added clean fill to the space. We installed underground drainage facilities and a blacktop cap to protect the groundwater table. We installed LED lighting, and we're reducing electrical consumption by up to 70% with that lighting. And we planted more than 130 trees, shrubs, and bushes to make the lot more sustainable and aesthetically pleasing. There are a lot of people that had a lot to do with that completion of that project, and I just want to thank the Federal Environmental Protection Agency. $200,000 came from them, a $500,000 redevelopment assistance capital program grant from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and a $37,500 grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, which helped with the LED lighting and was secured with the help of Congressman Gerlach. Senator Rafferty has been a champion of the college and of this project since our early discussions back in 2005, when both Kurt Schuykill and I took him on a tour of this facility to talk about the possibilities of what it might become. And he was instrumental in helping the college to secure the RACP grant from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to support both Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the project. So it's with great pleasure that I welcome Senator Rafferty to the podium.
Good morning. I'm honored you're here this morning to hear me. Of course, the alternative is to sit at home, watch TV, and some rodent come out of its hole and tell you whether or not we're getting spring. Karen's right. When she approached me, she and Kurt approached me about their conception for this building and the programs they were interested in offering to students in the greater Pottstown area in Montgomery, Chester County, and Berks County. They hooked me right away. But of course, Karen Stout has that ability to hook people right away, to make them interested in the offerings of Montgomery County Community College, and she has been an A-plus president for Montgomery County Community College. I'm standing, and you're all sitting in the 44th District, at least temporarily. The Supreme Court's moved me back, and now once again I have Montgomery County Community College Central Campus and West Campus. I'm very proud of that, and had the opportunity to work very closely with Karen and her staff over these years. When this idea was first being fleshed out, and I was interested in it, and interested in helping Karen and Kurt with the programs to be offered here, especially in the environmental sciences, recognizing that we are stewards of our environment for the next generation. Always adhere to that from Teddy Roosevelt, and believe that as I go forward as a senator in the Senate of Pennsylvania. I reached out to my colleagues, Democrats and Republicans, and we were able to acquire some much needed funding for the parking lot and for this building. And these individuals seated here, or their representatives, were all integral parts of us obtaining that money. It isn't any one individual. You need 26 votes in the Senate and 102 in the House. So these folks all played a part in acquiring the money for this building and this endeavor. As you can see, the shell is being worked on. We now look to raise money for the inside. We've got to make sure that we're able to finish off the classroom space and the meeting space. Now, it's easy for me to say that because we're in an unfortunate circumstance in the Commonwealth. We're facing our second year of extreme budget deficits. We're about $750 million behind what the revenue projections were last year for this year. So it's not going to be an easy year for the Commonwealth, and I don't see any RCAP money on the horizon. but we know how important this project is, and we have to talk it up to our friends in business to make sure that they help out. The importance of educating our students and nourishing their interest in our environment, and making certain that we all play an important part in keeping our river a lifeline. Not only do we draw water from there, drinking water, but it's a recreation facility for a number of families in this area. And we have to make sure that we stress that importance as we go forward and try to find the funding to help finish off this building. When I became senator, I realized the importance of community colleges. They're our first line of offense. When the economics change in a country and the workforce dynamics begin to go in a different direction, it's the community colleges that can adapt readily and offer the programs that we so desperately need for students coming out to be able to fill the workforce. It takes a lot longer for the four-year institutions. The community colleges such as Montgomery County can do that. And in Pottstown, Representative Quigley and I have worked together to make sure that we promote the Western Campus. We recognize the leadership of Mayor Bonnie Heath and the council and Jason Bopst, the borough manager, and bringing Pottstown back into its flourishing times and making it an economic engine once again in Western Montgomery County. And this branch, the Western Montgomery County branch of the community college, is a keystone to that happening. And this building will be a capstone to that keystone to make sure that we continue to be at the forefront and educate the children to provide for our workforce and to better our environment and keep this a place where people want to locate for business, want to recreate, and want to raise their families. So congratulations to Montgomery County Community College. We as the legislators from this area, Montgomery County, Chester County, Berks County, right on time. That's my train to Harrisburg. We stand ready to assist whenever and wherever possible. Thank you very much and best wishes. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you very much, Senator. Last April, well, because of the funding and timing issues, shortly after the parking lot completion, the college decided to renovate this building in 2 phases. So last April, we started the first phase of the building renovation, which included really dedication to the building's deteriorating external facade and infrastructure. And we completed that renovation in January, which is what brings us here today. I want to recognize Ralph Fay, who's the architect on the project, because I think we're seeing his vision and dedication to trying to preserve the great historic architectural elements of this, really an old electric generating station. And Ralph, you can stand up so we can give you a round of applause, because Ralph was also the architect for North Hall, the 16 High Street building that was the old Kiwi shoe polish factory, and transformed that into a wonderful and warm learning facility. And I know that with him, we'll be able to do the same thing here. The Phase 2 renovations are hard to see, but they are really important. We replaced the building's leaking aged roof with an eco-friendly green roof. We constructed a new entrance with a handicapped accessible ramp, installed energy efficient windows, updated the water and sewer service, and cleaned and abated the effects of existing asbestos. So we're all ready now to tend to the inside of the building. There are a lot of Phase 2 supporters, and I want to again recognize Senator Rafferty for his work in securing support from the Commonwealth. We also received community redevelopment block grants to help with ADA accessibility, about $45,000 in private gifts, including a $10,000 gift from the National Penn Bank, and I know there are representatives from the bank here today, and we thank you for your generosity. $142,000 from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, again from the grant that Congressman Gerlach was able to secure for the college. And then the college had to come forward with its local match of all of those grant dollars. But I think in the 2 exhibits that I just went through on Phase 1 and Phase 2 of funding, you see how we've been very creative in pooling lots of resources together to make an impact. Concurrent with our work to secure funding, the Schuykill River National and State Heritage Area has been working very diligently to secure funding for an interpretive center. And the interpretive center is inside the building inside the other part of the building where we had breakfast. And you can see it. Right now it's a conference room. The conference room's moving upstairs. The interpretive center is on track for, Tim tells me, a soft opening sometime in May. And it will be an interpretive center that will function much like visitor centers you see at state and national parks throughout the country. So you'll go in and be able to have an interactive experience with the river and all the different phases of the historical development of the river. Joining us today to talk about the Interpretive Center and the fundraising efforts is Jack Corey, a former member of the Schuykill River Heritage Area Board of Directors and a member of the college's Foundation Board of Directors. And Jack has been an early and often and still passionate supporter of this project. Jack?
Karen, I thank you for those kind remarks, and I would just say to everybody here today that not only am I pleased to be here, but when you feel the enthusiasm in the air and literally the lightning rod that we have with Dr. Stout as our leader, it's hard to say no to anything that relates to the college for probably everybody in this room. I'm deviating a bit from the script that I've been given, but I think that has to be said. Without a doubt. I mean, when you leave here excited about a parking lot, excited about a roof, excited about walls that have disappeared to come back one day in far different form, you truly appreciate the enthusiasm and the momentum that will be carried forward. This project, as Dr. Stout said, is one that's been near and dear to me, and I say that in the sense that it's no more near and dear to me than it is to those in the borough who have literally watched this tired old building come alive. And it truly was a tired old building. We have in the conference room a picture of this building as it was before the Greenway blessed us by coming down from Wyomissing. The Greenway's headquarters was in Wyomissing for years and came to Pottstown. And this is our headquarters as Greenway. We were blessed thereafter with the college and the borough getting together and the college taking title to it, knowing that the rebirth of the building truly would be inspired with the academic community. The borough benefits tremendously by having as literally bookends the Hill School in central and east part of the community, and now the college on the west end of the community, and everything in between and around it seems to vibrate because the college is now here. As a longtime supporter of the college and also the Schuykill River National and State Heritage Area and a lifelong resident of Pottstown, the creation of this Riverfront Academic and Heritage Center has to be recognized as a win-win for all of our organizations and the region. I bring you welcome today also from Kurt, whom, as you know, is our executive director at the Schuykill River Heritage Areas in Washington, D.C. I'm certain looking for budgets and money and dollars to bring home to the National Heritage Area of which we're a part. He regrets that he can't be here today. As Dr. Stout mentioned, the Schuykill River Heritage Area has been diligently working to secure funding for the Interpretive Center, which we will begin installing in March in the area of the first floor of the conference room. This has been the next phase of our development of the building. The Interpretive Center will function as an educational and visitors center, as Dr. Stout has mentioned, and will help promote regional attractions. In that center, guests can learn about the history of the Schuykill River, the Industrial Revolution, and many other events which have been truly influential to arrive at where we are today, not to mention the least of which is our Schuykill River Trail. It's impressive, and it's absolutely astounding how influential a trail can be to the economic revitalization of an area. On behalf of the Schuykill River Heritage Association, I'd like to thank those individuals and organizations who financially have supported the Interpretive Center, including but not limited to the National Park Service, the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, the Martin Foundation, which is a private foundation who has been very kind to the association, National Penn Bank, and the members of the Schuykill River Heritage Association Board of Directors. We have a tremendous board of directors. At each of our meetings, you can engage and feel the same enthusiasm and vibrancy that you feel in the room here today. I thank you for your support. If Kurt were here, he would be very upset if I didn't encourage you to all participate in the Schuykill River Sojourn, which is the recreational use of the river, which comes the first weekend in June of each year. This week, we're pleased to tell you it'll be June 5 and June 6. So I'll conclude simply by thanking all of you for coming, for all of your support, and ask that hopefully you'll return when we cut the ribbon for the Interpretive Center, the construction of which will begin and continue in March of this year. Thank you again.
Thank you, Jack. We're very proud of our relationship with the Schuykill River Heritage Area. It's a partnership that we think is a one-of-a-kind partnership in the country. And we're very excited about the potential programming opportunities that we've been talking about that include non-credit courses that run the gamut from talking about the historical perspectives of the region to lessons in kayaking and maybe even bicycle maintenance as Pottstown continues to become a bike-friendly town. It's no coincidence that the ribbon that we'll cut today to signify the completion of Phase 2 is green and not red. It's not because of Senator Rafferty's tie, although he does traditionally wear a green tie, and it's close to St. Patrick's Day, so we're coming up on that national holiday. But the ribbon is a symbol of the sustainable nature of the project, its construction, its programming, the ties to the river. Inside, students, when this is completed, inside students will learn in high-tech classrooms, while outside, the river and its surroundings will serve as a natural tool to enhance teaching and learning. With today's celebration, we move into Phase 3, and we hope our final phase, that we don't have to divide that into a Phase 3A, B, C, D, but if we have to, we will. The final phase of this project, which really focuses on the academic heart of our work. When completed, this space will be home to the college's environmental science degree program, which will utilize the outdoor learning spaces to complement the faculty's work in 4 smart classrooms and in a state-of-the-art science laboratory. The center will help us expand our work in courses like geology and geography and geographic information systems at a time when industry demand for those types of skills in core green science areas continue to grow. Ever since our opening in Pottstown in 1996, the college and this community have grown together. And really, it's that shared partnership that helps us think about transforming this into that strong academic space that I just described. So we're ready to take the next step, but as Jack and Senator Rafferty noted, we need funding resources to make that happen. Phase 3 will focus on the interior, including the development and some of the refurbishment of the Interpretive Center. I know that there's still fundraising to be done for the completion of the Interpretive Center, but also for the work of the college. So by investing in the Riverfront Academic and Heritage Center, you're investing in the economic prosperity of our community, in the education of future scientists and geologists and historians and geographers, and in the transformative impact that nature has on thousands of adults and children for generations to come who will use the trail and the river for recreation. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to get involved if you want to get involved. I think we've done a good job talking about what we aspire to do in this space. There are a couple of people from the college that I want to make sure I recognize who have done a lot of work to get us this far along. And primarily, these are people on the ground that have been here day in and day out, kind of managing the construction on site. Andy Galata, who's a construction manager at the college. Andy, can we stand so we can recognize your contributions to the project? Mike Belletta, who's the director of facilities at the West Campus. Thank you, Mike. Seti Mono, who's the vice president for academic affairs and the chief officer at West Campus. And Tom Freitag, the vice president for administration and finance at the college. The river has been described in lots of ways today. It's kind of run through everyone's comments. And there's a French proverb that goes like this: follow the river and you will find the sea. And I think that captures the potential of this project and the potential of this community, and the fact that this community is working very hard to build a river town, to build economic prosperity that's attached to the river. It's such an asset. Follow the river and you will find the sea. Thanks everyone for being here and celebrating with us today. We're going to do the official ribbon cutting.